This is Lee with 82 Game and 12 here on YouTube channel Sons Liberty 75 with video over the Battle of Borodino comparison between Game Designers Workshop, La Bataille de la Moscowa, and Yaquinto Publications Incorporated, The Great Redoubt. We just started the Great Redoubt playthrough, and I completed the French phase of the first turn, and now we're going into the Russian phase. In the last video, I talked about how I was just going to move units off camera because there was just going to be a little bit of movement here or there, not much going on. And so that's what I did. So over here we have Platov's Cossack Cavalry over here moved into road column, and part of the units were able to cross the river. This is the Kalatasha River. And Uvarov down here did not act. He failed his obedience role, which most of the cavalry have a 1. Kutuzov over here with the artillery reserve has a 2. Failed their obedience. Korf failed his obedience. So when you fail your obedience, units can move within the hex. They can change formation, but they can't leave the hex. They're just stuck in place. So you need to be sure that you have your leaders in proper places. Another thing is, units that don't have a leader can only move half of their movement. And most of these units don't have a lot of movement points to work with, especially on the Russian side. So if you're needing to move across the map in a hurry, you're not going to be able to do it because the roads don't go across this way. They go this way. So, and let's see here. North is going to be at this end of the map. So the roads, for the most part, are going east and west on this map. So there's not going to be a lot of easy movement across from this side of the map to this side, especially with this creek running through here, the Stonitz Creek. That's going to limit movement, especially with cavalry and artillery. So roads are pretty important, but they're running the wrong direction if you're trying to get forces from one flank to the next, or the opposite flank. Not the next flank, but the opposite. So Let me go ahead and talk about what happened with the rest of these. So we had Bhagavat moved his second corps up in this area, getting ready to cross this ford here. There's not a bridge there, so that must just be a ford. So a bridge can look like this. It's dark black. Some of those are pontoon bridges over there on the French side. You can see these here. These are pontoon bridges. But I think this here is a permanent bridge. So I think they're treated the same. Let's see. Yeah, in this game, there's no difference. It says that bridges are ford hexsides except on roads in road column. So you've got to be in road column and on a road. So it really doesn't distinguish between bridges and pontoons. It's still a bridge. We had Seaver's 4th Cavalry move up into here, this gap that was right here. Here's Kutuzov right here. And the artillery leader is Kutuzov, maybe, while you've got... That's what you have there. You have Kutuzov and Kutuzov. On the Russian left, we have Bagration was with the Third Corps. And this has to do with the militia. And they're slow moving. These have a movement of only 2. So they're only going to be able to move 1 hex when they go in through the forest. But they're on their move to get up here to plug this gap here. They just didn't make it. So now we go right to the fire combat phase. And for the French, they don't have any artillery unlimbered within range of anyone. And there's no infantry units adjacent to anyone. So we go to the Russian side. And maybe I should have turned this unit to face this direction. Could have fired possibly here, but we didn't do that. So that could be an issue. So let's move in here where we're going to have some artillery fire. So we've got this unit. Maybe I need to, let's use a different color here. Let's use white, it stands out more. And the target, we got to figure out what target we're going to fire at. So we can fire here, here, here. And I think we're going to fire here. Now they're in column. This is, I missed this. I missed this here because here's the column. Verse square, column, or in the flank. So we're going to get a +1 firing modifier. So that's going to increase the fire strength. So firing at those units in column here is going to be a +1. We have a range of 2, so the strength for this artillery unit will be 2. There's a 4 and a 2 there, and a 1. The middle number is 2 hexes away. First number is 1 hex adjacent, and then the far right number, 1, is 3 hexes. So we're going to have a strength of 3, and fire strength. Okay. And that unit has an overall strength of, let's see, that's 8 core of 10. Got a strength of 10. So we're going to be firing on, let's see, so on this chart here, and we're going to be over here in this gray. And a lower number is better. And we got a 2. So we look at a 2. Okay, a 2 will be 1 hit. Okay. So they're going to take 1 hit. So we have to mark on our sheet here. And let's go with a color here. What do we got? That's not even, so we can use that. Okay, so the French unit took the hit, France, and it's 2-1, 48. Over booze. 48, there it is. So, what I do is I mark on here that they've taken a casualty, and so the bottom number is their strength. The number in the top right corner, that's the morale. So the morale is going to go down as they lose strength. And also if they get any cohesion hits. So, and then we have to put a morale marker on them, which is a check morale. You check the morale at the end. And for a leader, we get a 6. Will eliminate the leader. So we had some success that time. And I should have been using that +1 because the French are in column. All right, so here, we've got this unit here. If they fire here, 1, 2, 3, they have a strength of 1. And their target is in column. So I think we're going to fire here, this one. Okay. So they have a strength of 2. And let's see, the 1st Cavalry. 1st Cavalry. That's not the 1st, that's the 4th. The 4th Cavalry. They have a strength of only 3. So they're going to be rolling. They're going to be rolling on the 3 column for strength factors. And we rolled a 1. So we've got a strength of, what I say, 2? Yeah, 2. We got a 1. That's a hit. So that unit takes a hit. And they also get a check morale. So this target is 8. Is that 18? Okay. So that's part of the nays. Okay. Yeah, 18. So I just did the same thing with that unit, as I just marked it here. Okay. And they've got to check their morale. Okay. Then we have this artillery unit here. And they can fire at this unit. These units are in woods, but they're also in column. So even though 1, 2, 3, that's a 1, it's going to be +1, it's 2, and then -1 for being in the forest. So, and that's going to be 7th Foot Artillery. Okay, strength of 10. Okay. So roll a 5. That's not going to do anything. Okay, so we move on. So this unit here fires right here. They've got a strength of, they're going to have a strength of 3 +1 column, -1 for woods. So they're going to have a strength of 3. And that's ARS. And it's the first foot. They have a strength of 9. Rolled a 4. That's still a hit. So they take a hit. And the 13th light will take the hit. Okay, and I've got to put a check morale on that unit. Okay. That's blocked. This unit can fire here. 1, 2, 3. Strength of 1. They're in column +1. Forest is -1. So, and that's the first foot. The second foot was what fired before. But okay, same. They both have the strength of 9. Rolled a 2. So they have a strength of what, 1 I said? Yeah, 1. And I rolled a 2. Okay, so here we're going to have that cohesion hit. Okay, which is going to decrease their morale. And so what I do on that unit, that's that 13 light. So with 13th light, do I have another cover here? Yeah, I can use this. So out beside the designation, identification here, I put an X. Like so. So now, instead of having a morale of 7, they only have a morale of 6. And they've got to check their, they have to check their morale. Well, they've already got a marker. So, and that's going to be all of the firing. So now we've got 3 units. So let's move in here close. We'll start here. Now, we do have a leader there. So that's going to help. Okay. So the 48th, we look here for the 48th, and they've got a morale of 8. So we roll 2 dice, and Free Ant, okay, he has 2 dots, 2 white dots. So that means there's going to be a -2 applied to the die roll or dice roll. So And I rolled a 10. You just add them together. 10 minus 2 is 8. So he passes. He had an 8. All right, so then we go to the next one here, and they have a leader. Now, that leader doesn't have any dots, so they do not subtract anything from the morale of this unit. So 18 is on his own. So he's got a morale of 7. And we rolled an 8. So he's going to route. So it's the Russian turn. So he will route with a green route marker. So he will not be able to rally until the next Russian rally phase. 3, 4. Okay, so that's where he went. He's got to take his full movement, which is he's got a movement of 4. So he's going to go 4 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where he goes. All right, takes the leader with him because he'll need the leader to rally. So here we go with the 13th. Okay. And the 13th, okay, has a morale of 7, but because of this cohesion hit, it only has a morale of 6. And it rolled a 3. So it's safe. Okay, so we can remove that. So there you've seen an example of how the, you know what, I want to use this to put some of these in so that I won't have to dig so hard. And then then we would go to the melee step combat, but we don't have any of that. And then we would go to cavalry recall step. We don't have any of that. Record keeping portion. Okay, so we're going to have some record keeping to do here. So for victory points, the Russians are going to get several victory points here due to the fact that some units lost strength points. For each enemy unit eliminated, so I guess you have to wait until you eliminate the unit. But For each enemy unit that's routed, you get 2 victory points. So we had a routed unit there. So the Russians get 2 victory points. And that's all of the Russian turn. So now we will go to the next turn. And we're going to have the initiative phase. Now, one thing about the initiative phase they said you could do was each player would get 4 blank counters that they could use to influence the initiative. I'm not actually going to do that. But I have thought about using the fact that Kutuzov has 2 dots, okay, and Napoleon has 3. So the French would get a +1 for initiative. I don't know why they just didn't do that. So, okay. So what we have here is we have a tie, but because the French have Napoleon with what do they call that? Command initiative, maybe? What do they call it? They call it... Oh, it's the morale modifier factor. Well, pretty much the same thing. So, so the French will get to go first this turn. And so we would have like cavalry charges. Okay, we don't have any cavalry charges to perform. So we would just go straight to movement. And here we have to check to see whether or not units are within command range. And if they're not, then they've got to roll for obedience. So we've got Napoleon is right here. And then the corps commanders would have to be within Napoleon's range. So we've got Napoleon has a range of 8. So 1, 2, 3, he's within range. Davout is within range. Marat is, where is he at? He's right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's within range, which means all of these guys will be within Marat's range of 5. So there's Davout. What do we got? Okay. Okay, so Poniatowski is way over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's within range. And then Eugene, okay, is right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that what it is? 6 or 8? It's 8. 8. Okay. Why does Napoleon have a obedience factor? He's the overall. That's why I guess it's a 6. Now, someone that is out of command is Moran. Moran is out of command. Gerard. They were both too far away from Davout. Davout's way over here, and he's got a range of 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. It only goes to here. So both of those guys will have to roll. So let me put just going to put an orange block on them so that I know I have to roll for those guys. All right. So everybody else is in command somehow or other. And let's get started here with their movements. So we'll start over here. And so we've got cavalry, but they can't charge. In woods. Doesn't mean they can't melee. So Pornataski's going to move up to here with this unit. To assault that. This cavalry, let's see if they change to line. Forest hex will cost +3. So that would cost them, okay, 2 to change. They only have movement of 6. So if they stay in line, column, I mean, it'll cost them 3 per hex. Okay, so they're going to move up, but they only get, they can only move 3 because they're not stacked with a leader. So we'll just have to be able to move them up to here is all. Okay, and then here, gonna move to there. No, tell you what, we're moving into here. From here. And he's gonna stay there. Now these guys are gonna move up 1, 2. Three, 4. Right there. Here, well, let me find out where's the rest of these guys at. Where's the rest? Oh, 8 right here. So they cross this, that's +1. And then 2, 3. And so that's as far as they're going to go. These guys will move up. Those guys will move up. Move up. That artillery. He'll move up. We'll move up to there. Okay, now we move to Vu's forces. So we're going to attack here. The saw is 1, 2, 3. Can't go any further. We're going to go 1, 2. But that's as far as he could go. Okay, Friant will go 1, 2, 3. There. The Vu will go here and here. This will go down 1. This cavalry will go here. Well, they're just going to stop there. That's guard. Guards, I don't want to do anything with them. And then Ney's forces, they want to stay where they're at, except we're going to move these artillery pieces up. And then they're going to flip over. That cost them 1, 2. Well, no. They were here. Just cost them 1, 2, 3 to change formation. And this unit here, we want to get some guns in here. Where's the guns? They don't have any guns, do they? This unit here is going to go 1, 2, 3 into there. But he can't do that. He can only go 2 because he's not with a leader. So he's got to stop there. I got to remember, this guy's going to go to line. Same thing here. Go to line, so it's not so easy for him to get fired on. The front guy. All right. So now let's take a look at Gerard. Now Gerard has an obedience of 4. Okay, it's the bottom right number, 4. So I have to roll to see, and I rolled a 4, so they're going to actually be able to move. And they're in road column. But they're going to have to go through here. There's no road going across there. But I guess you can go into road column to cross a bridge. And then you've got to go back. To cross that river. Because otherwise it's going to cost 3 plus 3. So they can use road column to go across that bridge. But yeah, right there, that unit stops that unit from. But okay, so they could go across. That cost them 1, 2, and then they could actually spend 2 more to get out of road column, and then this unit here could move to here, which would allow this unit to come into here, 1, 2. It's still be in road column. Okay. So here, okay, he wants to come across there. Let's see if Moran is going to follow orders. 3, he has a 5, so yes. Okay, across that there's going to cost 3 and 1 is 4, so he goes to there 4. This artillery can cross in road column, so it costs them 3 minus 2 is 1 to cost them 2, and then they could unlimber 3, 4. Like so. Okay. Why is this? Oh, that's Grouchy. Grouchy. Okay, he's within range with Napoleon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So he's going to move up. And go into road column with that cavalry. Eugene, 3, 1, 2. Rozier. Goes 1. What's that creek? Plus, they would only, I could put them here. Yeah, I want to put them there. That's 1, 2. And then we have Broussard here. So they can go 1 and then 2. And then to cross there, Creekside. Would be, but there's also the trench. But he could get into that village. So he goes into the village with that artillery unit like that. And then they're going to get victory points for being in that village. But it's only at the end. Victory points counting phase. Okay. IRG. This here is part of Eugene's forces. They're going to stay there. Okay, so this is just part of Eugene's. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Like so. All right, so that's all of the movement. Rally phase. Okay, but we can't rally because he has a green marker. You gotta wait till it's the Russian rally phase. So we would then go to the fire combat phase, and we do the non-phasing fire step first. So let's start over here. Target. Targets in column, but they're also enforced. So force -1, column +1, so just straight up. And that unit has a fire strength of only 1. Okay, that's the top number. Top number fire, middle number's melee, bottom number is movement. So 1, and they have a fire, let's see, 1B. What is, maybe that unit shouldn't be there. Maybe not. No, they're third core. Okay. Third core. Okay. Third core. Okay. 1B. Wow, they've got 13. A strength of 13? Yeah. So a strength of 13. Okay. All right. Rolled a 2. And that's going to be a cohesion hit. Cohesion hit on, what is that, 1/60th? No, it's 16D. All right, so 16D takes a hit. No, they take a cohesion hit. Cohesion hit. All right. Next. So they will have to do a morale check. Okay. Next we have this artillery unit can't fire there. They can only fire straight ahead, and it spreads out. So we're just going to have this unit, which is a 1. These guys are in column and they're in force. So it'll just be a strength of 1. And that's 3, 1B. They have a fire speed though. Third Division, 9. We've got a fire strength of 9. Okay. Got a 3. Okay, that's no effect. So we just keep moving down the line here. These guys are in the open, so be a +1, so the strength is going to be a 2. Add those guys in line. And let's see. Oh, it's DET. Let's see what that is. Okay, they've got a strength of 11. So on the 2 chart, got a 4. Okay, so we look here at 2, cross for 4, and they've got an 11. 4, that's a hit. All right, so they took a hit. 57. All right. Okay. So then we move over to here, this artillery unit. They can't fire at that unit. So they've got to fire at one of these other units. And I think they're going to fire at this artillery unit that's there in front of them. So they're going to have a strength of 2. And what's the 8th? Strength of 10. Ooh, a 1. What did I say? A strength of 2 and a 1. It's going to be a hit. So, all right, so that's Davu's 3rd artillery, 3rd foot. Okay. All right. We've got these 2 guns. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Well, no, there's only 1 gun there. I should have the other. Let's see what's back here. Oh, it's just cavalry. Okay. Well, they can fire there. So that'll be a strength of 2. 1, 2, 3. I've got 1, and that's in column. So it's 4 cavalry. Strength of 3. 2. Fire strength of 2. Overall strength is 3. Got a 1, so that's going to be a hit. So we've got a hit on number 4. 4. Takes a hit. And we're going to have to check morale. All right, we go to here. Now, if he fires to here or here, it's not going to be effective. They're in line. So that's going to be where he's going to be reduced down to 3. 1, 2, 3. I mean, down to 0. So he won't be effective, but this unit here can, because he can fire here. Yeah, fire here at this artillery. 1, 2, a strength of 3. And that's AR, and it's what, 2nd foot? That's 13. Strength of 13. It's a 2. Okay, that's going to be a hit against that artillery. And that is 1st foot. Yeah. Lose. 1st foot. Where is, so there it is. They only have a strength of 4. Okay. So they got to check morale. Have this unit. They could fire here. These guys in the village. Okay. So 1, 2. Be straight up strength of 3, and that's AR 1st foot, so that's going to be quite a bit. AR 1st foot is 13. They rolled a 1, so that's going to be 2 hits. 2 hits. Well, actually, that's the fire strength of 4. Because they're in column, even though they're in that village, they're in column. So, yeah, it's still going to be 2 hits. So, 2 hits, 453. Eugene's. This takes 2 hits. So, gonna have to put a check morale on him. Now, we can go to fire from the French fire. So here we've got this artillery unit. We'll fire, I guess, just straight ahead. That's Debou's 1st foot, so they only have a strength of 3 now. They're firing 2 hexes away. They have a fire strength of 3. Okay. Behind the trench, it's -2. So now they're at a 1. They got a 2. And that'll be no effect. Okay. Next, we go to these 2 guys. And fire straight ahead. 2. 1, 2, 3. So they would have a strength of 2. Well, we got let's see, first foot, second foot of nays. Where's nays artillery at? Wonder if it got left off. Yeah, I don't see it on here. Oh no, there it is. No, they got strength of 8 and 8. So I guess they have to fire separate. Right? I mean, let's see. I think they do. I think they have to fire separate. Yeah, it says they have to fire individually. Must be fired individually. They never have their strength or fire factors combined. Okay. So we'll do this one first. 1, 2, 3. Okay. This unit is in column. So that's going to be a +1. So they're going to have a strength of 2. Rolled a 1. So that's going to be a hit. $20, 26D, 7th. Okay, same target. Okay, that's another hit. All right. So they will have to check morale. Okay, they're going to be able to fire right here. Okay, 1, 2. They got a strength of 3, but the trench there -2. So it's going to be a strength of only 1. Third foot. It's a strength of 11. Got a 2. That's going to be a cohesion hit on that artillery unit. Eighth foot. Okay. They're going to have to check morale. Okay. Then we have this unit here. This guy, if you go to what he was doing. Okay, so this unit firing into the front still have a strength of 1, but there is no entrenchment there, trench, or that's a flesh. That should only been -1. Should have been just -1. So that would have been a hit. So rolled a 2. So that's a hit. A hit on that artillery instead of a yeah. Instead of a cohesion hit. All right, so that's 33. 33 is strength of 8. It's part of 2nd Division. 8. And so it's going to have a strength of 1. Got a 2 with, that's going to be a cohesion hit. So now they do get the cohesion hit. Okay. All right, then we move across to here, and we've got here, firing here. Now that's a trench. I don't think his fire is going to do anything. It's only got a strength of 1, so no, we'll have to go to here. Okay. Well, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, he'll be at 0. All right, so here, strength of 1. This guy's in column. That's going to be 2. And 240. 240. Who is that? Oh, that's 8th. That's who know. 24D. So they have a strength of 10. There's going to be a strength of 10. Combat strength. Fire strength is 2. Rolled a 2. That's a hit. So 1B, 3rd Division. Okay, 3rd Division, 1B. It's going to take a hit. And they now have to pass a morale check. Okay. And then the last one will be here. So they're in column. They're in woods though. That evens out, so it's just going to be a fire strength of 1, and it's 16D, 11. I got a strength of 11. There's a 1. That's going to be a hit. Okay. 3, 1G, first guard, maybe 1st Guard Division. 1B takes a hit. Okay. Now, I gotta check morale. All right, so now we have to roll for morale on these units. And they're just checked in any convenient order. So Onatowski's unit, 16D has a cohesion hit, so it's morale is a 7. Now he gets to add a -1. He rolled a 6 -1 is 5, so they passed. All right, then we check this unit, which is the 1B, and they've got a 9 and rolled a 10. So they will route, and it's the French turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And they actually can move in there. They move in there. But they can't melee. So actually I guess I would move them in. Yeah, I'll just mark them with that. And that way I know that they get to move in. All right. Okay, so here we've got to check this unit. 3, 1B. Which one was this? Okay, all right, so they're going to have a morale of 9, but they have a leader. So that's going to subtract. That's this group right here. Subtract 2. All right, they rolled them a 2, so they passed. Okay, we go to the next one here, which is the French player. 57, and they've got a leader that's going to -1. Okay, 57 has an 8. Rolled a 6, -1 is a 5, so they passed. They passed theirs. We'll come back here, this unit, which is that artillery, 3 foot. Got a 9. Rolled a 5. They passed. Plus they have Devu there. Let's get with these guys. 3rd, and it's 4. They got a 7. Rolled a 9, so they're going to route. And I guess now the unit with them has to roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. He goes back there. That one went all the way back there. Back to here. And then we got to check. Now we got to check for this artillery here. That's Devu's horse artillery. They have an 8. Rolled a 5, so they're okay. All right. So then we pull back to here. Eighth. They have a morale of 8. Rolled a 5. They don't get any bonus from that leader, though, because he doesn't have any dots. Okay. Here, all right, we've got 26D, and they've got their leader is going to give a -1. So 7. They can have an 8 -1. They rolled an 8, so they passed. Okay, then we've got 2 more that are both French. And then we go to melee. So we've got this artillery unit here with Moran. First foot. Alright, they've got an 8 -2. Rolled a 6, so they passed. Alright, then we have here 53. They've got a 7. The leader -1. 7 -1 is 6. Okay, they passed. Okay, so the next thing we have is melee. And with melee, let's pull back here a little bit. With melee, both sides get to roll the dice. They both get to see whether or not they can cause any casualties, cause rout, so forth. So the first one is here. Now this is a front hex. This is flank back here and here, and then this is rear. So it's a front hex, but they don't have the fletch pointing in that direction. So we're going to have an overall strength of 1 and 2, 3 here. With this unit, they're going to have a strength of 2 for melee. And melee modifiers, melee uphill, which that is a -1. So they're going to have a 1. And so their overall strength, 33, is 8. So rolled a 4, no effect. And then the defenders have 1 plus 2 more is 3. Melee downhill is +1, so they're at 3, 4, strength of 4. And let's see, 2B, okay, 2 guard. That's 8. Is 10. Let's see. Well, let's see what it says here. Maybe it's only the front unit. I don't think so. Okay, so the combat procedure. Okay, let's see. Oh, one combat unit at a time. Okay, so regardless of their position in the hex. All right, so we're going to have the artillery unit. Okay. They have a strength of 1. Melee downhill is a +1. So they're going to have a strength of 2. So that's the 8th foot. So they've got a 9. Yeah. 9. Rolled a 5. Okay, no effect. And then we have the infantry behind that. Strength of 2. Downhill is +1 is 3. And they're 2B, 2G, 2B is 10. So we'll be on combat table 3, strength of 10. No, yeah. 6. Now we could have a leader casualty. Okay, we do have a cohesion, but the socks, we don't even have to re-roll. That's automatic. So that eliminates that leader. So leader is destroyed. Where we want to put them. Put them up there in this white box area. And they get a cohesion hit. 33. Where's my cohesion? There it is. Oh, no, wait a minute. Is that light? No, excuse me. That wasn't even the sex's units. That's Freex. Why is he over there? Let's see. No, okay. Yeah, he was just stuck with the wrong guys. Should have been back there. But oh well. He's taken out. So that's worth, I think, 2 points. So again, we've got to do a check morale here. And yeah, I'm just going to have to check morale. So now we go over here and to here. So we've got 2 units there that can melee. We've got the 25th and the 57th. Okay, and they're going across that trench. So they may not be able to melee. They would have a 0. Let's see what it says here. Versus defense behind trench. That would be -2. So they'd be at a 0. So would the other one. So they can't even attack there. Unless, let's see, no, no, you can't. So, yeah, we're just gonna have to move on to this one, here and here. So, here and here. All right. So the front unit has a melee strength of 2. Going uphill is -1. And 24D, 7th. 24D is, okay, overall strength is 10. So, oh, a 6. And that's gonna kill that leader though. What I say is strength of 1, 6, but the leader got taken out. Okay. Now the unit behind, they got a strength of 2 also. And that's the, what, 2B? 2B, okay, strength of 9. Got a 6 again. No effect though. Okay, so now the defender is to attack. And I guess well, I'll go ahead and finish this one. All right, so 1, and then downhill is +1, so they're going to have 2. So strength of 2, melee strength. And let's see, 3. Let's see, that's 1B and 3, 3rd division, 1B. Okay, it's strength of 8. So, got a 2 and strength of 8. It's a hit. So the front unit, 24D, takes a hit. And I guess I put these melee markers on here instead of putting that on. And, okay, we've got here, but we still have the other unit behind that gets to attack. Same thing, plus 1, 5. And they are 2B. Strength of 10. Roll a 5, no effect. Okay. But we have to put this melee marker here. All right. And here, of course, these guys, this guy can attack here. But doesn't want to. Those guys can attack him. They don't have enough strength. The ones that are outside. Let's see, we got to back up here. Okay. So now we've got to check the melee morale step. So what we do is we look at the units that have we have to find out who has the lowest morale. And so the units with the lowest morale, modified morale factors, and work up to the best modified morale factors. Okay, so both sides have surviving melee units. The situation is resolved by comparing the modified morale factors of the best surviving combat units on both sides. So let's take a look at where we're at. Okay, so here we've got Taru. Okay. He's got 2B. I don't think those are even hints. Yeah, they are. Okay. So the best morale there is 8, with Tharu adding 1. So that gives them a 9. So they have a 9. Now we take a look at the Russians. Okay. They, don't have a leader. They're in that village. I don't think that's going to give them any benefit. They're not in the trenches or fleshes. Okay. So 3, 3rd division. We've got a 9 and 9, so I think we're tied. Okay. So okay, so if the modified morale factor of the best surviving defending unit is higher than or equal to the modified morale factor of the best surviving charging unit, all surviving charging units must make a retirement movement. So I got to figure out what retirement movement is.